Evening, guys. Welcome. Novak News, late night news Monday. What's the secret of selling off the planned properties? Hint, it may include coffees and sausages. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome by Badan. Mr. Badan, how you going tonight, mate?
Very good, sir. Very good. How was your day today, Josh?
Very, very busy. Mondays always are after the weekend. But, yeah, we've got an interesting topic here that probably you and I know back to front, eh?
Definitely. I think we are the first, the first responders of these kind of things, off the food.
You could say so, and a bit of effort and preparation goes into these events every Saturday. I know we have the Belrose Collection in the morning, which is up opposite the Glenrose Shopping Centre. We do coffee, lookbooks, signs, absolutely everything. I think we place around 20 signs in the morning, so it's an early start and a late finish. It's a bit of work put into it. And Bids, do you want to elaborate on your Rodber Road setup with the barbecue?
Definitely. It's a barbecue, sir. Setting up barbecue once is a no-brainer, but if you do it for almost a year every weekend, it's a big setup and commitment. And of course, I have to give hats off to the mastermind behind it. Mark Novak trying to get doing everything on the back end, but it takes a bit of a while. All the signboards, setting up the barbecue, get the gazebo up, let everyone know, get the DLs done, advertising. If anyone have driven past Sporting Road, you see a telegraphic pole, big yellow signs with free sauces. That's that's us acting out. And same thing with Josh doing everything in Belrose. It takes a big commitment because you have to be there early, set up the signs. It's like you're trying to set up a pop-up coffee shop every Saturday, right? Because you take everything, right? Milk, a coffee machine.
The car's packed. Car's packed. It's everything's rattling, but it look. There's a reason why we do this every weekend, and that's because it works, isn't that right, Bidan?
Definitely. Sometimes we do question ourselves why we're doing this, but then we see people coming through. They're actually getting acknowledged what's happening, and some of them actually turn into buyers because some people have it on the back of the head, but they never take that action. And when they have friendly conversation with someone over in a coffee or in a free sauces and barbecue, they kind of start to act on it because those are your passive buyers, and Mark says they are your strongest buyer. So I think it kind of the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and it's crazy the relationships you build through these sorts of events. I mean, we've got guys coming down every weekend to see what's happening. Obviously, enjoy a nice sausage and talk real estate. So, yeah, definitely surprising to me. Something that I've coming from a finance background, I'm not used to. But definitely right in saying that. I think it sort of just breaks the barrier to introduce people to come and talk, and then it just allows us to communicate the message across of what these assets do, what they can do for you, how they perform, how you can enter the market with a little financial commitment, and once you break down those walls, those barriers, and you sort of go, hey, this guy's just like me. It sort of breaks down those barriers for you to have a free-flowing chat, and then, like we've said, have turned into deals in the future.
Yeah, absolutely spot on because people when they're never given actually a thought of the plan, but when they see a sign, free coffee, free sauces, and and I think every person is attracted to free food. Like I would be if I was driving past and I saw like a free sign, and I think people kind of get educated, very passively, and they think on it because we're just there passing information. We're not trying to sell you anything, and with real estate, working real estate so much, investing from your super and all that gets very common for us. But then how we start talking to people there in the sources, and they're like, can we invest from our 80% of the people don't even know. So
exactly.
Right, and exactly, like we have storage units that's for sale for only 200 grand. So those things kind of make sense to a lot of people because they have 200 grand sitting in the bank in their super just casually, because everyone's a full-time worker. So, yeah, like I think someone is saying it ends up being a very expensive sauces.
Yeah, it does end up, especially when they start mixing in warehouses into the mix. But yeah, I think it's a really great education process and breaks down those communication barriers just to dumb it down a little bit, and make it a little bit more personable rather than, receiving a call or, calling out, whatever it may be. It's just a real relaxed environment, and free flowing conversation leads to more and more action. So, yeah, definitely. Anything else you want to add on your experience, Bids?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think the best part about buying off the plan is and it's a challenge as well because people they will put their money but they don't get anything straight away. Like you have to tell them, okay, what's going to happen in the future. So also, but people don't get the biggest benefit is you get it at a very cheap price. So
Exactly
we've seen
right.
that make a lot of money if they buy off the plan, building completion, and after 2 years, the capital growth is next level rather than you buy a secondhand stock and sell it after a few years. So because you have to wait for the building to be complete, and you only have to put 10% down right now. You don't have to pay the whole finance has to be sorted right now. So I think the biggest advantage is you get in early. You can handpick the one that you like, the one that you can fall in love with, what layout works best, and after let's say 4 to 5 years, you'll make a very handsome profit. What do you think?
Yeah, really. Yeah, really interesting point there, Bids. You're basically exposing yourself to the capital or the growth in the market without having to settle on the full amount. I mean, that's huge. So I think that's definitely a really big part. And I think also another interesting part in regards to storage, when people think property, when people think investments, storage is probably not something on the top of the list. But when
Very
these conversations happen and you're entering the market at 20 grand deposit, and with the kind of results we've seen across a couple of the projects through the Northern Beaches, I don't see anywhere where you can put $20,000 down, enter the property market, and expose yourself to sometimes double, even 3 times what your initial investment was in terms of that deposit. So I think that's a really big point. I know a lot of the discussions we have down there is, that's probably one of the main things we bring up and talk about is not only does your commercial have naturally high yield growth, being especially behind Storage King and Kennards. But I think also the capital growth there has been a real big education process and something that's really worked with something that's very chill in regards to those barbecues or making coffee.
Exactly, that's very true. That's a very good point. Actually, I love what he just said. So like we've seen some good result there. So we're just talking with experience rather than showing, just telling you numbers. And we're always here to educate as well. Like, why buying off the plan is sometimes beneficial. Like, I don't think you can buy anything not Northern Beaches in Australia alone for $20,000. Investing in real estate with only 20,000. So I think that's a great point. And if you see the end result, like I would say the light at the end of the tunnel, it's very good. And as soon as you put 10% deposit down on off the plan, you lock in the price. So before your project is completed, before your property is ready, your price is already gone up. So I think the biggest plus point.
And I think a lot of people, Bids, would you be right in saying there is a little bit of, and I think this is from previous experiences, but there is a bit of fear factor when it comes to off the plan. But I think a major thing, guys, is do your research on your developer, who's building it, past projects. We've discussed about this topic before, but I really don't understand the fear in the market when it comes to off the plan. It tends to be an amazing way to enter the market without a large commitment, but also finding the right spot and exposing yourself to that growth, especially something in a stable market as it is here in the Northern Beaches. We're quite resilient, but we sure do jump on the back of the growth when we see a growth across the industry.
Definitely, and very true. And I think the projects that we're currently doing, I think they are kind of one of a kind in each suburb. Like yours in Belrose, there are many townhouses so close in Belrose. People in Belrose, I've heard they like to stay in Belrose. And we've seen like a big trend. They sell their house, they want to downsize, and there's nothing in Belrose. So, that's one of. And the one I'm doing barbecue in is like a massive storage and warehouse that you own right next to the biggest Bunnings in Australia. It's like a one of a kind. There's nothing like that anywhere at all. So I think we
Yeah,
both have a rare, and people, if they get in early, I think they will have a very rare property and rare opportunity in their hand.
definitely. I mean, if you talk back on Rodber Road and those storage units, guys, originally these were under 200 grand.
Yeah,
So really, it's about getting in at your early stages, as Bidan said. You've got your stage 1, 2, and 3. Not to
yeah,
say that there's not value in stage 3, but even more at stage 1. And obviously, money is tied up, held up for longer from that stage 1 period, which is why you're getting the discount up front.
exactly.
But still, guys, yeah, completely right about getting that handy discount up front on premium type of property.
Exactly. And the best part, Josh, is like when people come in, you give them free food and you pass them all the info. You don't have to sell them anything. They'll be like, oh, I'll actually buy it.
That makes
Like,
sense. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, no, you do get a
um,
couple of those
yeah,
surprising conversations where, like I said, you're cooking a sausage in front of them. You give
yeah,
them a few facts about the project and how it all works. And hang on, I want to know more. Hey, could you send me a floor plan, pricing? That tends to be the way it happens, isn't it?
exactly. So you're just not trying to sell. You don't want to be, as Will say, and have that little sales nature, but you're just providing info. And if they want to take action on it, there they are. And I think one of the best part is, we're kind of getting our name out in the community as well, because I don't think any real estate agent do all that setup, stand 1 hour, give out free food and get the name out in the community, and because people know something is getting built, but they don't know what exactly, right?
Exactly.
Right. So if something is happening right next door to you, I think you want to know and say, okay, maybe I can take some advantage of it because it's right next door.
Exactly right, and something I think you've always with the effort that we put into these things, you've also got to give yourself a bit of pat on the back. And to any developers, landlords out there, this is the type of commitment that you'll receive out of Novak. I don't think I've seen any other agency names out there with the sausage sizzle or coffee being made on a regular basis. So I have to say, obviously under the leadership of Mark and Lisa, initiatives, the consistency and the commitment to the sale process is like no other.
Exactly. And I think you learn every day, right, Josh? Like even though you do it every week, every sausage sizzle, every coffee is different. You get something a day, so it's a big commitment, I have to say, and it does work.
Yeah, it definitely. And that's always one of Mark's things. How can we make it better? How can we make it
Yeah,
better? How can we make it better? No matter if I think we had 12 up there at Belrose on Saturday, close to double digits up there at Rodber Road. But, it comes to the point after every Saturday at the end of the day, all right, how can we make it better? How can we get more eyes? How can we get a better result?
exactly.
And that sort of mentality is what drives success.
Exactly, and I think that's the reason with selling off the plan. So how people do have that a bit of reservation. What if the builder doesn't go through? What if they take our money and they run away with it? But little do they know, the builders actually never get to touch your money. It stays with either solicitor's trust account or your real estate agent's trust account. So the money never gets passed on. So I have had a lot of people question that did end up buying at the end. Ask, oh, where does the money actually go? What if they run away with it? So
Big one.
there are lots of those reservations as well. But if you ask the question, I think you'll get the answer.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's a big point. That's a big point there. Anything else you wanted to add, Bids, before we finish off the news tonight?
I think that's pretty much all. Like if you need any info, here, like we have a lot of project that we currently handle in Northern Beaches alone, residential and commercial. And anyone wanting to buy something now and will be ready in the next few years, they're wanting to secure something now so they can sell in peace later. There's lots of benefits of that as well, and we have a lot of resources as well that we're prepared in lots of videos. Like Mark loves his videos and everything, so we have a lot of those prepared. So we can definitely pass that along. Feel free to give us a call anytime.
Yeah, and a shout out to our in-house media team, Lisa, Tiff, Laura, Barnabas, Bilano, everyone involved. thanks to them for putting together these resources together with us. And it really does make it a lot easier when communicating and sending this information across. So a real team effort. Guys, what's the secret to selling off the plan? Well, there you go. A bit of sausage, a bit of coffee, and everything else in between. Thanks for joining us tonight. We hope you have a great evening. And like Bidan said, any assistance ever needed, feel free to reach out. See you guys.